Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to this week's edition of Business Talk. I'm Jason Winters, one of your hosts here for today. And then with me to my right is Pat Dengel. And behind the scenes we have Mike Thompson, who's working on the sound. I hope you're not hearing the echo that we're hearing. Are we good now, Mike? Excellent, got the big thumbs up. Today's a very special show. We have with us today Jessamy Bright. She is the owner of Scorpion. Did I say that correctly?
Mm-hmm. Scorpion Concealment.
Scorpion Concealment. We're going to find out what Scorpion Concealment is here in a little bit. But first of all, Pat has some statistics he would like to share with us before we begin today's show.
Well, Jason, Jessamy brought some of these statistics, and you know I love statistics. Did you know that 1/7 of your life is lived on a Monday?
Yay, rah, rah, rah.
Or if your parents didn't have children, neither would you, statistically speaking. Anyway.
Statistically speaking.
I was looking through some of the statistics in discussing that, and it's rather interesting. In Ohio, last year there were close to 35,000 violent crimes in Ohio. In property damage, there was 360,000, almost 400,000 different crimes in Ohio. That's just amazing to me. And another thing that was pointed out to me, every square mile. Now, we live in southern Ohio, right?
Correct.
And we live in a rural area. 98 crimes per square mile in the Portsmouth area, and in Gallup-Plus area, about the same thing. And that just boggles my mind. But it does bring up why we have Jessamy on today.
Well, one of Jessamy's businesses that we'll talk about here is giving training for Conceal Carry. And what we're finding out is more and more individuals that are living within our region are deciding to carry firearms.
Yeah, for protection. Mm-hmm. And that's rather interesting. Jessamy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
And you're you're the lead trainer?
I am at this time, yes.
And you're with Patronus Training.
Yep.
And what does Patronus Training do? What kind of training are you involved with?
We offer firearms training. We do concealed carry classes for Ohio and West Virginia. I also have ladies beginning pistol classes, and I just recently started the Well-Armed Woman Southeastern Ohio chapter, which is a ladies only shooting chapter. Then we meet once a month with them. So anything to do with firearms training, that's Patronus Training.
So you are actually a trainer for Patronus,
Yes.
but you also own your own business with Scorpion Concealment. Now tell
Yes.
us a little bit about Scorpion Concealment.
Sure. Scorpion Concealment is something that came about through my work as an instructor. I would have students after classes ask me, what are the best holsters? Have you tried this? They were asking about options for their concealed carry firearms. And I wasn't really seeing a lot of options in our local area that you could try on different holsters or take a look at concealed carry belts. And so I wanted to kind of open up some avenues to make that accessible to people here, especially my students. So I started carrying flashbang holsters, that national
Flash,
brand.
bang.
Flashbang holsters.
We may need to talk a little bit more about holsters. I know when we talked about holsters with you earlier, Pat, you were talking about the Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
Those things
yeah.
that hang on the side and strap to the side of the
Yeah,
leg.
I was hoping that Jessamy had one of those.
You know, I have a feeling that that's not the type of holster that Jessamy is selling through her store.
Not
Tell us a
generally,
little
no.
bit about some of those unique kinds of holsters that you
She
supply.
brought a
Sure.
video too
I
that
did,
goes into
I
that
did.
too.
Yes,
But
definitely.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Pretty much any of the types that you would see generally on the internet in other places. I'm now a dealer for the Well Armed Woman products and Offhand Gear, which is kind of another firearms related products company. But I have kind of hybrid holsters that are leather and Kydex that have clips that go inside your waistband. I'm gonna have ankle holsters, thigh holsters, conceal carry purses, just a bunch of different options that they can try on with a blue gun.
Now, do you have those detective holsters that go underneath the arm that you hide underneath your jacket?
I don't have a shoulder holster yet, so I should probably look for that as an option. No, I don't. I don't have one of those. I pretty much looked for holsters. I mainly focused on ladies starting out, and then of course I include the fellas because I have concealed carry classes as a co-ed class. But there's quite a few different options, and I think I have a pretty good cross section now available to see and kind of try on.
So what is the difference between concealed and having a sidearm? What
You mean open carry?
Yeah, open carry.
The difference is it's concealed and you can't see it. You have a shirt over it, you have a jacket over it, something that you cannot physically see it.
And why would people want to have a concealed weapon?
For protection, and versus concealed carry versus open carry. Your open carry is legal in Ohio and West Virginia. I particularly don't open carry as a general principle. I think it can invite more unwanted attention than as a deterrent. Yeah. That's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
It could freak people out. It could draw attention to you for the bad guys.
You walked into a bank with a gun on.
Exactly.
On
Exactly.
your side.
So I generally don't recommend that. I always tell people kind of the pros and cons. And yes, it is legal. But open carry is just anything that is in plain sight. You don't have your shirt over it or your jacket.
I see.
So that's the main difference.
And so anyone can get a pistol and hide it on themselves.
They could theoretically, not legally, anyone, but.
So let's just suppose I decided to acquire a pistol, and why would I need your training, or does everyone come to you for training, or what's the reason for it?
I'd love everyone to come to me for training. Sure, come on down. You have to go through a certified NRA certified instructor to do the training, and you have to do. In Ohio, you have to do the NRA basic pistol concealed carry class for Ohio, which is 12 hours of training. West Virginia is slightly different. They require less on the training as far as hours. They're a little more lenient on what program that can be. So it's state mandated that if you want to carry a concealed weapon, if you want to get your permit, you have to come, take a class, and then go through the application process.
So once I acquired this, and it's an NRA certified program, etc., then I'm good to carry my weapon wherever I want, except, and I found this interesting, at universities. No one is allowed to bring a concealed weapon into the university without being part of the security forces or things like that.
And there are other restrictions as well, and those are restaurants that serve alcohol.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you might be able to elaborate more. I don't know all
Sure.
of the.
As far as restaurants that do serve alcohol, you are now permitted to carry in there as long as you're not consuming alcohol. The minute you take a drink of alcohol and you have your pistol on you, you are breaking the law. So if you're drinking, you cannot conceal. So that's kind of the short version of that.
So I would imagine if you try to get on an airplane, they frown upon that.
They do not want you carrying your firearm except in a very particular manner. They do have regulations and specific practices of how you can have it unloaded in a case, locked, and of course you have to declare it. And there are ways you can travel with a firearm by plane, but it's a process.
So you provide conceal carry training.
Yes.
You also are providing all of the accessories that go along with women to carry their concealed weapon. We're getting ready to watch a video here shortly. Can you tell us a little bit about what this video is going to talk about?
Sure. It's going to talk about picking your first pistol. I think we covered ammunition a little bit on that, and mainly it's covering holster selection. So you're going to see some of the different types of holsters that I do carry on my website.
So Pat, you need to pay close attention to the video as we begin so you can pick out your first pistol.
Far out.
Mike?
I'm Jessamy Bright with Patronus Training, and today we're going to be talking about how to choose a pistol, maybe your first pistol, specifically for home protection or self-defense purposes for concealed carry. I'm also going to talk about how to choose a quality holster, and then we're going to touch a little bit on ammunition for defensive purposes. We started teaching our protective pistol classes, which is kind of an introduction, basics of pistols, a non-NRA class, specifically a curriculum that Tyson has come up with as his Patronus branded class. And from there, we had a lot of requests for the NRA Basic Pistol course. We started offering the NRA Basic Pistol class for Ohio and West Virginia, which qualifies you for concealed carry. And I recently started doing my own ladies beginning pistol classes, and those are ladies only classes. Same type of thing as our protective pistol, just more geared just specifically towards ladies. When you're first picking a pistol, when you go to the gun shop, you're probably going to be a little overwhelmed by the selection and what's there. The most important thing when you're picking a pistol is picking it for your purpose. It could be home protection or concealed carry. Those would be the two main purposes that you would have. That's going to play a lot into the size of the pistol that you will ultimately purchase. The story I always tell is about my SIG P250, which was purchased for home protection. This is a 9mm, and it's a compact size, but it's fairly large for a lady to conceal on your body. So this was purchased specifically for home protection, and I did learn to conceal carry this pistol with cover garments, etc. So it can be done, but this is pretty large and heavy when it comes to concealing. And recently I did purchase the SIG 238, which is the 380, and it's a smaller size, which is going to be easier to conceal, and this is in 380 caliber. The main thing that you're looking for is when you're holding this pistol out that your wrist and your hand, when your hand and your wrist are locked, you have a straight line here, and when you go to put your finger on the trigger, rather, you are able, without having too much finger all the way through or too little, that it goes perfectly on the trigger. All right, now I'm going to talk about how to pick the perfect holster. And one thing I want to tell you is that there is most likely not going to be the perfect holster for your gun for every situation. So what I have here today is kind of a cross-section of the types of holsters you're going to encounter when you go to a gun shop or when you shop online. The first that I'm going to talk about is your in-the-waistband kind of hybrid leather and Kydex holsters. These are my personal favorite. You may like them, you may not. It's going to be this type of look. This particular one is the Ava holster from Flashbang Holsters. It has a nice purple suede backing, clips that this will go inside your waistband, and the clips will go out over top of your belt. You will then have the option of switching, lowering, or raising the clips on both sides, so it's fully adjustable for ride heights, how high it sits in your pants, or how low, and for the cant, so you can cant it towards the front or towards the back. So this is fully adjustable. I definitely recommend this type of holster. As I said, this is the type that I use the most. I carry the most with an Ava holster. Another type that you're going to find are your all Kydex holsters. This particular one is an outside the waistband holster. This was custom made for me. Roush's Retention Rigs from Bidwell, Ohio actually did this holster for me. Thank you, Matt. This is very rigid. This is a little harder to conceal for ladies. A lot of the guys really love these. Raven Concealment, there's a lot of companies that do these really well. So it's just a hard thermoplastic, it's called Kydex, that will go right on the outside. You'll have to thread your belt through the belt loops. So that's another type of holster. Another thing for guys or gals, belly bands. These are basically super stretchy. They have kind of a universal or ambidextrous holster pocket. I'm going to use my blue gun. One thing you do have to watch with these is your holstering, because the tops of this are kind of floppy, where it's made of the spandex. So when you're holstering, you need to watch out for your hands. But this would then wrap all the way around my body, and I'm not going to do that today, but it would wrap all the way around your body, and you can position this high or low. Some fellas like to have it down around their hips, where it basically sits in the position that you would normally carry on your belt. So this is a kind of a versatile holster, especially for ladies if you do not have belt loops on any dress, well, skirt actually, or pants that you might find. So that is definitely useful. Those come in 2 different sizes or 3 depending on your manufacturers. This is a 4-inch wide, this is a 6-inch wide. The bigger ones on me feels more like a corset, so you might like that and you might not like that. Another thing is this type of holster. This is called a pistol wear holster. I don't necessarily recommend this for the smaller pistols, because it's basically just a pouch and it doesn't have a specific way for this pistol to lay in here. Now if I was concealing something larger, maybe not as large as this 1911 blue gun, I would be able to position it in the proper place. This is really great for if you're out walking. Anytime you're going to be sweating, this has a nice sweat shield pocket that all the moisture from sweat will not be getting to your firearm. So this is called a pistol wear, and it's adjustable around the back of the band, and it again would go on your waistband. All right, now we're going to talk about choosing what type of ammunition to purchase for your self-defense. This is a 9mm round nose regular ball ammunition that you would use for practicing, typically target practice. This is also a 9mm round, and this is a hollow point. In a self-defense situation, your hollow points, they have been hollowed out on the end, and they're made to expand. So definitely for concealed carry, I definitely recommend your hollow point ammunition. Ladies should definitely come and take my course, because I have experience in teaching you. I know how ladies think, being a lady myself. That's why I was specifically brought on for Patronus, was to provide the female perspective in teaching firearms. Okay, a little philosophy to leave you with. Guns are tools. People are the weapons. And your attitude towards carrying versus an evil person's attitude towards using a firearm against you makes the difference in how that is used. For good or bad, it's the person that decides, not the gun. It is a tool. So learn your tool, learn how to operate it, build proficiency so that you know your firearm in and out, and carry with the right attitude to defend yourself and others.
That was very good. Yeah, you did a good job. Quick question: hollow points versus the regular bullets?
Yeah. Your hollow points are manufactured with basically a hollow point. They're made to expand on impact as it hits your bad guy. It's created that way to, for one, reduce collateral damage. Your regular target ammunition is going to go right through.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, your hollow point ammunition is going to slow down as it spreads out. As it expands, it's going to create a larger wound channel in your bad guy, and generally speaking, it's going to stay in that person instead of hitting another person, an innocent bystander, a house, a car, something you don't want to destroy. So that's something that's recommended for self-defense.
Oh. So that's why when I've seen John Wayne movies, he can be shot 23 times and he keeps on going?
Sure, I'm sure. They skipped the hollow points that day. Right.
Oh, that was an interesting kind of thing. And again, you know, we saw some of the shoulder holsters, and you have those for sale also.
Yes, all the holsters. I think there's, with the exception of one maybe that I had purchased from another vendor, the ones I showed in the video I do have for sale on my website, and in person at our classes. We have a pro shop that I open when we have our classes that students can go and shop and try things on.
So what does a typical person look for when they look for a holster? Comfort?
I would say comfort. Versatility, it kind of depends on what their job is, kind of what their daily life looks like as far as carrying. Some ladies are not physically able to carry a pistol on their body. That's been very, very small portion of the ladies I've come across, but for some reason, they can't, they just can't. You know, maybe they work in a hospital in scrubs and they're not allowed to have it, of course, in a hospital. There's all kinds of considerations, so I try to interview them and just see what their needs are, what pistol they have, what their experience level, what their comfort level is. And but comfort that's probably the number one, to make it as comfortable to where they will actually use that option to carry all the
I was
time.
really surprised as we watched the video. We actually saw some of those that look like elastic belts, and
Yes.
I know a lot of people when they exercise, they wear those elastic belts as just supportive for your back, and
Yeah.
and I thought, wow, what a great idea to incorporate a pouch inside of one of those that actually can conceal.
Yeah, the pistol wear is really nice. It has a dedicated pocket just for your firearm that has a really nice sweat shield around it, so you can exercise and not have your firearm be exposed to sweat. It also has, I believe, an extra magazine pouch just dedicated to the magazine. Also, one drawback for that is if you have a smaller pistol, they're only in it only comes in one size, and if you have a smaller pistol, usually it kind of floats around a little bit in there. The trigger guard's covered, and that's the main thing, but if you would need to draw, it may not be in the same position that you put it in there. So that's kind of the only drawback that I've told people about for that.
So Pat, did the video explain to you what type of gun you wanted to order?
I wanted the biggest possible gun that my hand could surround. But one thing I did learn is that you never get a gun if your finger doesn't wrap around the trigger, that it's too large of a gun for you. And the reason being is inability to keep it steady.
Yes,
Yeah.
and inability to execute a smooth trigger press. If that firearm doesn't fit your purpose, and we talked about that in the video, whether it's concealed carry or home protection, maybe carrying in your vehicle, that's one facet of importance that you need to address. The other being whether it physically fits your hand. If it's too small, you'll have too much of your finger, your trigger finger, through onto the trigger, which messes up your actual shot placement. I won't go into all of that, but if it's too large, then you may not be able to get all of your finger onto the trigger, which again messes up your shot placement. So it needs to be fit for your hand and your purpose.
Pat, the one thing I really took away from the video was the fact that she made it very clear that carrying a gun, owning a gun, having a gun is a tool.
That's right.
It's not a toy. It's not something
and
you
not
play
for
around
fools.
with.
It's
You're
a tool,
exactly right.
not for fools.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
You have a NRA basic pistol training program this coming Sunday or Saturday, excuse me, the 15th.
Yes.
And it starts at what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, and it goes for 12 hours.
Yep, we go for 12 hours.
And you are given 50 to 100 rounds of ammunition, eye and ear protection, and my favorite, lunch, snacks, and drinks.
Yeah, those are all the things that we actually ask for you to bring.
Oh.
I do provide you with good company and good instruction, but you do need to provide those things.
Oh, okay.
I do have pistols available to try and to rent in case haven't decided what you'd like to carry. So that's a little side note on there.
Oh, very good. And basically what we are learning is the proper ways to conceal, to maintain your pistol in a concealed manner. And we're learning about the laws.
That is part. We cover the fundamentals of marksmanship. We cover the parts and function of firearms, how to clean them, how to store them, pretty much anything pertaining to firearms for handguns.
Just like anyone would do with a tool. They take care of their tools, they make sure they're in working order, they make sure they know how to care for them, and they're safe in operation.
Exactly.
And you have a lot of useful information on your Patronus Training.com website, and it goes into who you are and Tyson Hutchins. He's the owner and the lead instructor, and then of course you, Jesse. You're a NRA certified pistol instructor and range safety officer. And then your website is well done.
Thank you.
Who did the website?
Me.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank
did
you.
a great job because there's training services, there's instructors, there's blogs and things of that nature.
Tyson maintains the blog. He's on a security contracting deployment right now overseas. He's in Afghanistan. And so I handle pretty much the day-to-day administrative things. And I'm in charge of teaching class as well. He's gone.
Yeah, he seems to be in good hands.
He is.
And
So, if someone needs to contact you,
Yes.
how do they get a hold of you?
You can call me. You can visit the website or the Facebook page. I'm pretty easily accessible. I think I have a pretty good online presence with
Now,
social media.
we talk about Patronus.
Yes.
Tell the audience why you chose Patronus, what Patronus means,
Okay.
and if we search Patronus, are you going to pop up on the internet?
Yes. Yes, we will. Patronus is not from Harry Potter. We get questions for that very, very often. Yes, it's been the source of many questions. Patronus is actually Latin for protector and defender. So that is something that Tyson chose that name for that particular meaning, because that's what we do. We teach people to protect and defend themselves and others. So.
Jessamy, we hope to have you come back in the next next year sometime. Give us an update on what some of the rules and regulations are on maintain a safe handling of your pistol. And maybe, Jason, you and I will get a concealed weapon. Maybe they'll let me have a concealed weapon. Next week, we have two of my favorite people down in Portsmouth. They are Wordy and Sean Penix. They own the Portsmouth Pizzeria.
And they're bringing lunch next week, right?
I hope so. I said, bring enough for at least our listening or our audience out here of 100 people. So, but I'm looking forward to that. Jessamy, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
PatronusTraining.com and ScorpionConcealment.com.
Yes.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jessamy.
Thank you
for listening.